Sk.A.Asiya, Department of Computer Science. Now I am discussing in the R language what are the basics of R and what are the vectors in R programming. Overallly, I have to discussing about the data structures of R programming. Now, first of all, we have to know what is a R. It is an interrupted computer programming language and it was developed by Rose Ehak and Robert Gentleman at the University of Auckland. And first of all, you have to know what is a R programming. You have to analyze the first statistical information. It means easy to understand. Next, you have to conclude the what is a graphical representation. First, you have to know understand the basic information. Then you have to goes to the visualization representation, and it is also known as a graphical representation. And finally, you have to complete this project and you have to goes to the reporting. In this reporting also, you have to add any advanced technologies and you have to goes to the data modeling. In this R programming, we have data types. In R, the variable or not declared any data type, means here any variable are assigned as some type of objects. Let's see what are these objects. First data type is a logical, means you have to give any logical data type. The output will be printed as a Boolean data type. All of you know that Boolean means true or false. Next one is a complex data type. It means the structure of complex data type is 3 plus 2i. What is the 3? It is the real part, and coming to 2i means it is the imaginary part. Means complex number means the combination of real part and imaginary part. Next one is numeric data type. Let's see the examples. What are the numeric data type? Like 12.3, like 5,999. Any type of integers were considered as the numeric data type. Next one is the character data type. Like means you have to consider as a single or double quotations character or single line characters. And another benefit is there, you have to convert the integer value to the strings concept, but string is not converted into integer. Why? Because the integer value should be converted as a string. You have to place it the single quotation. Wherever you have to place it any single quotation or double quotation, it will be converted into string. But string did not convert it to the integer. Integer value means we all know that all the numerical values is known as a integer. Raw data means these all the mixing combinations of data like string data or logical data or complex data or numeric data. All types of data is known as a raw data. Next one, previously I have to discuss, these are the R data structures, and first one is a atomic vector, second one list, third one array, and fourth one matrices, and second one data frame, and the next one factors. What is a vector? In the previously any programming language you have to taking some input values, means user can give the input. In the R programming, the vector give the input values. Why? The C function to create a vector, means in R is a sequence of elements, but here you should have taking only the same data type is known as a vector. Okay, here how to create a vector? Based on the C function, you have to creating a vector. What is the C? It is a generic function and it combines the arguments. And next one, here let us see the x. Here I am taking the values, and print x means whatever I am taking the values, the value should be printed. Like it is similar to the one-dimensional array, vector means. And next one, vector operations. Combining vector means here we can call combining vectors, merging vectors, or concatenation vectors, means you have to combining two variable values. Here let us see, I have taking p variable, q variable. Here p variable I have to mention the integer values, and the q variable I have to mention the string values. And I have to combine these values. I am taking the another variable, that is the r. And finally we have to get the output. What is a logical index? In the previously I have 10 logical data type means the result will be true or false, and you have to comparing these values also Boolean values only, that is the true and false. Let us see here a b values, two variables. I have to logical index vector. Here Shubham the true and the Arpita is false. Nishak is true and Vaishali. Wherever the true is present, the names will be presented. And the duplicate index. In the vector operations, you have another advantage. You have to give the duplicate values also, it will be accepted. Like you have to giving only one value, you need not given any C value, but you have giving number of multiple values, then you have to mention the C value. Next, range index. We all of you know that column operator means the range index. Wherever the starting index to ending index. I am asking these 2 is the starting index and 5 is the ending index. Means second name to fifth name I will present it as the output. Next one, vector length. This function means how many items you have to present in this vector, the length will be presented. And next one operation is if item exists, means you have giving several number of values, if the value is present or not. Here I am giving the 3 types of values. Let's take apple, banana, cherry. In this value, the value is presented, then boolean value will be given. If the value is not found, then it will be represented, the output is false. And next one, what is the list? In the previously we are discussing in our programming, in everywhere you have to creating an object and you have to any data types. Means in the vector you have to create only integer data type. But in the list you have to create the different number of data types. Means you have to create any numeric value and you have to create any string value also. In this list you have to creating any list, particularly you have to use the list function. Here see that, let us take one example. This list means one variable and this function I have to passing 3 values. That's why the output will be represented as the 3 values, apple and banana and cherry. Next one, list operations. Previously we have seen vector operations and next one is list operations. Here length is the predefined function. This function, how many elements you have to present in this variable. Now I have to adding the elements in the list. Particularly you have to use the append function only. Append means whenever you have to given any new element, the element should be added to the last element. But and another advantage is you have to add any element particular index, you have to taking the after is equal to 2 condition, then it will be printed. Next, how to accessing elements in the list items. In the previously in the arrays concept you have to accessing the elements in the index value. In the same concept is used in the list element. I am taking the list element several data types. One is the string data type, second one matrix formation and the third one is list data type. In this every data type I have to represent names of the list data. Means in the string data type I have to get the name first quarter and the matrix output I have to get the names matrix and the list data type and I have to get the inner list. Now I am accessing list data 1 means first index position. Here I am present only months, that's why the output will be January, February, March. Next I am accessing the third element of the list. Here I am presenting the list green 12.3. Here you have to see I am using the different data type. In the vector you have to use the only same data type. Now I am using the list different data types. Now coming to what is a matrix. We all know that it is a 2-dimensional data. One is rows and second one is columns. And we all know that what is a row means it is a horizontal representation of data and column is vertical representation of a data. And in this you have to create any matrix, you have to create the matrix function. Let us see the syntax. Matrix function, data means whatever you are giving the data it should be placed. N row means you have to calculate how many number of rows and columns. N column means how many number of columns. By row means you have to given the values placed on the only row wise. That should we will use the by row. Dim name means combination of rows and columns. Here let us take the one example. I have given this matrix is the variable, matrix is the function. In this function I have to pass 6 values and I have to give the how many rows and columns. It means the dimension value is 3 by 2. And next one, combine two matrices, means you have to use two functions, R bind and C bind. Whenever you have to use R bind, the two rows are bind. Whenever you have to use C bind to combine two columns. Here I am taking the input values matrix 1 and matrix 2. I have to combining these values with the help of the R bind function. And next one, I am using the C bind function with the help of the matrix 1 and matrix 2. Like that, let us see the example. First output is the rows will be combined and the second output is columns will be combined. And the next one is arrays concept. It is like similar to matrix concepts only. Here matrix also rows and dimension, and arrays also row size and column size matrices. Here in this place I am passing two input values. One is vector 1, second one is vector 2. And these two result I will be storing the third variable, that is the result. And I have give another argument, that is the dim. I have to passing the values in three types of values. First value is represented the row, second value is represented the column, and the third value is represented as the how many dimensions placed in the array. Here see 3 rows, 3 columns. I am giving number 2. The third value means you have to two multiple dimension will be display the output. Now in this matrix you have to giving the naming columns and rows, means rows names and column names, and you have to give matrix names also. Like that I have passing 2 variables and I have to passing 3 variables giving the names, and finally I have to combine. Let's see the output. Any row wise and column wise I have to mention the naming the row and naming the column, and finally I have to place it the matrix name also. Now what is a data frame? It is like two-dimensional data structure, but it is not similar to arrays concept and matrix concept. Why? Because it is having table format and it is having only one variable, and row contain the set of values, but the column name should be non-empty and the row name will be unique only. Okay, and in this data frame you have to store numeric values and factor values, but each column contains same number of data items. Let us see the example. I am taking the data frame. I am passing 5 numbers of employee details and employee names and salary and the employee starting date also. Here let's see the output. I am taking the 5 employee details, 5 employee names, 5 salary, how much the salary getting the employee, and the starting date of the employee name also. And what is a factors? It is a data object, means you have to categorize the data. Let us take one example, gender. Here having two options only, male and female. Here you have to given the input values male and female number of times, but it should finally taking the output is male and female, and you have to analyze only unique values, not repetition values. Here you are using factor concept and you have to use only factor function only. And next one, you have to giving input data, and in this input data you have the passing the values and you have to print the data. It is only a vector. Whenever you want any factor, you have to use the factor function. That's why I am using is dot factor of data, means the vector data should be converted into the factor data. And the next one, is dot factor means the data will be factor data or vector data. You have to implement the factor data, the output will be become true. Otherwise vector data should not be implemented to factor data, the output will be false. Let us see the output. Okay, and next one, generating factor levels, means here it will be represented as the GL function, means you have mainly taking two integer values and you have to indicate how many values and how many times each level will be repeated. Here see, GL means function, N means integer value, K means number of replications, how many times you have to repeat that value. Here label means whenever you have to represent a names function, the label will be represented. Here I am giving n value 3 and the k value 4. I am giving the labels names. These label names will be repeated 4 times. I have told previously k means given the number of replications. That's why the output will be represent each and every variable 4 times will be repeated.